Welcome back to Calamity 1 block, where after growing the world's most fragile Crimson biome, I've unlocked what is potentially the slowest and most convoluted way to farm dirt in Terraria. So let's see if we can solve both of those problems today. The next major goal for the playthrough is obtaining enough dirt to craft a dirt bomb, but to do that I'll need to take down Aureus another 2 times, which should hopefully be a whole lot easier with all the new weapons that drop in the astral biome.
Oh, this is more damage for sure. And homing. Yeah, this is definitely more damage than the other 2 options.
After some testing, I decide to go with the Astralachnia staff, which means respecking into Mage. I start this by doing some fishing in the astral biome to get a bunch of astral crates, which I then open to get meteorite ore and bars. It's not quite enough for what I have planned, but that's nothing a short mining armor dupe session can't fix. Once I have enough meteorite, I turn this into a comet shard and consume it for an extra 50 mana. Then, while trying to craft some mage potions, I notice something I probably should have thought of long before now.
Deathweed is an issue though. I maybe need to set up a deathweed farm. I fear it might be that point where I actually have to start farming.
Initially, I set up a farm in the caverns before remembering that herbs grow 6 times faster on the surface. A very useful fact I don't see talked about often. I then decide to aim for an armour upgrade in the form of the Brimflame set, which requires taking down the Calamitas clone. Unfortunately, it turns out I'm really bad at this fight in death mode, so I end up losing quite a few times before getting a successful attempt.
About time.
With the Ashes of Calamity it dropped, I can now make my new armour, which offers excellent mage stats for this stage of the game.
So now we can kind of decide whether we're going to do Skeleton Prime tonight or go for Aureus again. All it would really give is access to hallowed bars, because I don't think I could do much with Soul of Fright. Although now that I've got all 3 souls, I guess I could. Even with all 3, it's not much. Yeah, it doesn't seem to unlock much. It'll unlock Chlorophyte once I've got Jungle. So maybe I want to wait for that.
In the end, I decide to go with Aureus first, which it turns out was the wrong decision, as even with my much better armour and weapons, I still end up dying to it twice in a row.
Okay, I think Skeleton Prime tomorrow night instead of more time on Aureus. I think that will be worth more in the long run.
The fight actually goes really well up until the last few seconds, where a rogue probe decides to become my number 1 op.
Probe causing me to bounce, not good. I swear if that probe ends up being the reason I die, never mind.
With the last mech defeated, I can now open up all 3 treasure bags that I've been saving to get some hallowed bars.
Okay, 80 hallowed bars, that's quite nice. Other than hallowed armour, what's going to be that useful? And I can make the mechanical glove now for extra melee damage, which is probably my best damage accessory at the moment. I might just go back to melee to be honest for the extra defense. Okay, so I definitely want hallowed gear, so let's get that at least. The plate and the greaves. We're going melee. We went Brimflame robes for 1 boss, and now we're going melee.
Thanks to a recipe added by Calamity, I can use leather to make some feral claws without a jungle, which I can then upgrade all the way to a mechanical glove. I craft and test a bunch of melee weapons, and unsurprisingly the best ends up being the post-Aureus Astral Scythe. Who would have guessed that the option furthest forward in progression would end up beating everything else behind it? With that, it's now time to get back to grinding Aureus for more dirt.
I just need to not get hit as much. It's simple as that. Looking good for this one. Yeah, I think we got it. More dirt incoming. Was that a no-hit? I think it depends if you allow hallowed armour when it comes to no-hits. I would be scared to say it was a no-hit. Yeah, this is why I wanted hallowed armor, to be honest. That made it so much better. But what I want to do now is... Wait, did we get the message? Yeah, a star has fallen from the heavens. Nice. So let's go mine that star from the heavens for extra dirt. Seven. What's the last one over here or something, I think? Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, hopefully he's dead very, very soon. There we go. All I need is one dirt now, and we're at infinite dirt. There we go. Now we can get to how a lot of skyblocks start. 32 dirt, which is enough for a dirt bomb.
Dirt bombs require 25 dirt to craft, but when exploded they generate up to 57 dirt, which can then be used to craft even more dirt bombs and repeat the cycle, allowing for a much faster and easier way to generate dirt than fighting Aureus for a mere 8 blocks of the stuff. Eventually I try a tip from Raz for how to farm dirt much more effectively by running between 2 walls while throwing dirt bombs and dynamite, which works a charm and allows me to get hundreds of dirt blocks in no time. With the golden sink in my storage system, I convert some of this dirt into mud for a jungle biome. I set this up in rows with gaps in between to allow life fruit and Plantera's bulbs to spawn, with platforms placed under each block to stop vines growing down and getting in the way. The jungle isn't the only biome unlocked by this new influx of dirt though, as I can now make a hallowed biome where I farm for souls of night, allowing me to finally craft the Cosmolite.
Beautiful. One of the most useful items in the game. Finally have it.
It's then back to the fishing grind for a while, this time in the Hallowed and Jungle, with these new biomes granting access to life force and summoning potions, along with all the goodies found in their crates. Most notably the Staff of Regrowth from bramble crates to vastly improve my herb farming, and crystal shards from divine crates which I use to craft a gelatin crystal with a recipe added by Calamity. After planting some hallowed grass on the surface, I use this to summon Queen Slime and defeat her a few times. None of her drops are all that useful, so I mainly do this for fun and to show that it's possible to fight her at this point. By the end of it though it's almost night, so while I'm here I may as well catch some prismatic lacewings, which Calamity makes spawn at any point in hard mode rather than post Plantera. Speaking of Plantera, I set up an arena for her just above my life fruit farm, then place even more mud in large blocks in the caverns. Most people already know that chlorophyte can spread to nearby mud blocks, but a much more obscure piece of Terraria trivia is that jungle grass in the caverns can rarely convert mud within 11 blocks of it into chlorophyte. Now I'm not sure if I just got lucky here or what, but it doesn't take long at all for me to notice an extra green pixel on the map.
Oh, we have our first chlorophyte. It is possible to get chlorophyte. Very nice. Now technically I could dupe this or I could let it grow. I might dupe it, to be honest. It might be a lot easier to dupe. Oh, I do need a pickaxe axe though. Do I have enough souls for that? That's the question. Oh, I don't think I have enough souls for that. Or hallowed bars, I guess. Okay, which mech did I hate the least? Let's try the destroyer, I guess.
It would appear it's impossible for me to defeat the destroyer in this world without him also defeating me. But regardless, I now have the hallowed bars needed to craft the pickaxe axe so I can mine the chlorophyte that spawned.
Oh, it's grown to 2. I guess we could leave one here to propagate. And then we will take the other one up here. Switch these out. And now we do this till we've got enough chlorophyte to do stuff with it. Could make the true Excalibur. Turtle might be better than hallowed. And chlorophyte extractinator could be useful. I don't know what for, but it could be useful. So the chlorophyte partisan is a material. Oh, I could make that. I might make that. After Plantera, of course. Because I think I've got a Dark Lance in here. And then I can make a Gungnir. I can make a chlorophyte partisan. Interesting. What else is possible? Or useful?
While there are many things that chlorophyte unlocks, I mostly ignore them for now, and instead get started on a mushroom fields biome using some seeds I got from stuffed fish. Technically, this would have been possible back when I had only 8 dirt, as both the vines and trees that grow on mushroom grass count as tiles for the biome. However, that would involve converting all of my dirt into mud, which would prevent me from doing much else with it. And I don't gain a lot from the biome anyway. By the time I'm finished with building, my jungle has become overrun with weeds that will prevent life fruits from growing. So I clear these, then catch some frogs to turn into bounding potions.
Man, I didn't realise how many frogs you got in an underground town. That's a lot of frogs in a very short amount of time. Especially considering it's 3 per. Like, that's 45 bounding potions I've just got the stuff for there.
To craft these into potions though, I'll also need some vines, so spend a little time farming these before returning to base.
Let's just max stack it. Never have to worry about them for a while.
A side effect of this little farming session is that I now also have the materials needed to craft the Axe of Regrowth.
Very nice. Portal bulb requires more jungle spores. I just used all my jungle spores. Brilliant.
Without enough spores to craft a portal bulb, I resort to spawning Plantera the old-fashioned way.
Okay, with some buffs and some better dodging, I feel this is definitely possible. Maybe some blocks in the middle for her to latch onto as well.
I add the blocks to the middle of the arena, buff up, and spawn her again.
But hey, I've still not been hit yet, which is nice. Like, for actual damage. Oh, how have I still not taken damage in this entire fight? 3 adrenalines. What? Hallowed armor is so powerful. I'm in love with hallowed armor. 4th adrenaline. I never play this good. What is happening? Maybe Death Mode Plantera is like my thing. With Holy Dodge, obviously. Watch me completely throw it in the last few seconds though. Come on. Die, please. There we go. I really doubt that there's echoes screaming from the dungeon, because there is no dungeon. And I also doubt that the desert sands shift immensely, because there is no desert. But you do you, Plantera.
After crafting the Botanic Piercer with some of the living shards she dropped, I get to work farming perennial slimes which now spawn in the cavern layer. I could use mining armor to dupe this, but decided to change things up for once when it comes to the ore grind. There's only so much mining and placing the same ore that one man can take. With all this perennial ore, I craft a few new weapons and test them out.
About 2,500 DPS for the Hellkite, but it is true melee. Around the same for the Feralthorn Claymore, also true melee though. So I guess let's test the ranged options. So this is about 700 DPS, this is about 600, and then this is only, well, I guess maybe the order would be this first, this second, this third, and then these are both true melee, so it's kind of hard to tell. In some ways this has been balanced really well, because the ones that are good at distance are less good at true melee and vice versa. They're all fairly well balanced is the annoying part. None of them are standouts as like the best option. Piercer looks the most consistent, yeah, I think so. But it's all very, very close, I have to say. Calamity has for once done a good job of balancing these.
Anyway, time to go from a handful of very well balanced weapons to one that's, shall I say, not so well balanced. By spamming the Cosmolite, I can quickly skip through time to hopefully force an eclipse to start. While doing this, I get a little distracted by a free slice of cake, then check to see if my mushroom biome has fully grown yet.
Check if the Dryad is selling mushroom seeds yet. Ah, yes, we've got surface mushroom. Give me mushroom seeds. Give me around 2,000 mushroom seeds. And hopefully, if this is a valid house, Truffle should be able to move in, right? I think so.
With that distraction out of the way, I get back to time skipping until I get an eclipse. Now that Plantera is defeated, I can get a Butcher's Chainsaw from this. And let me tell you, this may be the most unbalanced true melee weapon in the entire game, which is saying a lot considering it's the most unbalanced class in the game.
Yeah, pretty good, yeah. It's alright, I guess. Yeah, it's like twice as good as the Feralthorn.
By the time I'm done with the eclipse, the Truffle has moved in who I buy an auto hammer from. I don't quite have enough glowing mushrooms to make much from Shroomite now, but it should be quite useful later on. For now though, I get back to fighting Plantera in the hopes of getting a Venus Magnum, and with some adrenaline or rage, the Butcher's Chainsaw absolutely shreds her. It's just a shame that in order to use it, I have to get so close to her that taking damage is inevitable, which ends up costing me this attempt.
Definitely don't die now. I died now. Come on, like, surely something can hit her. No, that is painful.
I play it a little safer on the next one though, and it pays off with me getting exactly what I wanted from the bag. This also gives me some more living shards which I craft into life fruits to max out my health.
And then I should be able to craft the blood fruit as well, I think. No, blood orange. Dragon fruit will be possible, elderberry will be possible, and miracle fruit will actually be possible. All of these are possible, which is kind of surprising.
The next boss on my list of possible targets is Duke Fishron. So I use some mushroom seeds I bought from the Dryads to make an underground mushroom biome where truffle worms can spawn. With the worms in hand, I was about to start duping Chlorophyte for bullets to use against Duke when something unexpected happened.
Oh, never mind, we're getting another slime raid. This is going to be embarrassing for King Slime when he spawns. That should do it.
With that blast from the past out of the way, I get back to duplicating Chlorophyte, then crafting this into bullets, by which time I've gathered enough spores to craft a portal bulb, allowing me to take down Plantera another few times to get the Seed Lurus another pretty decent weapon with some rudimentary homing.
Can't tell if my DPS is low or if she just has so much health. It's one of the two though. Also got the axe. Very nice.
All that's left to do now is make an arena at the ocean, and I can get started on dying to Duke.
So my DPS could definitely be a lot better.
The lack of a ram dash really makes this fight a lot harder than it usually is, as with something like the Deep Diver or Asgard's Valor, you can dash through him to avoid damage. Sadly, both of these are currently unobtainable, and the Shield of Cthulhu grants less iframes than Calamity, so that's not an option either. It also doesn't help that I'm quite bad at this fight, so I eventually decide to switch things up and try the Empress of Light instead.
I'd say so far I'm doing better. With a full arena and some buffs, I reckon this is doable.
And so I add a miniature hallowed to my existing arena so I can spawn the Empress, then settle in for quite a few attempts. Eventually I start running low on Chlorophyte bullets, so have to dupe some more until I get quite tired of manually duping all this ore. So I start testing out some ways to make this a little more automated.
And I think what I want to do is get some minecart tracks. And I have no idea how this will go, but we'll have a try. So if I do that, and then set this up like this, I can place them automatically, and then I would switch to this. I think what would be best to use is a Shroomite digging claw, because it will be faster.
After confirming the concept can actually work, I head down to the caverns to build a much longer, more permanent setup, complete with a roof and some walls to avoid any unfortunate railway accidents involving innocent cave bats. It takes a little trial and error to get the right speed for placing the ore and mining it, both of which are different by the way, but it's definitely much faster and easier than what I was doing before, and gives me plenty of bullets to continue fighting the Empress.
Okay, got a potion in the bag. There's my dodge. And adrenaline should hopefully do it. Hey, Empress down. Very nice. Hope for wings. Come on, please, please, please. Oh, unlucky. But Eventide should hopefully be a bit of a DPS boost.
With the Eventide, I continue fighting her to hopefully get her wings. Although after a few failed attempts, I also end up running out of the cinder arrows I was using, so have to use my new minecart setup to get more of the ores needed to craft them. While doing this, an armoured digger spawns, a rather rare post-Plantera enemy. This is a little annoying to fight in a skyblock since it needs blocks to burrow through, but after dropping down to my crags biome I managed to take it down without too much trouble.
Does it just drop Essence of Havoc? Oh no, it drops Mysterious Circuitry. And Dubious Plating. Interesting. I now actually have a way of obtaining that, I guess. I don't think there's anything I can do with it. Oh, you know what? The sponge is going to be huge, being able to get that. That is big.
I then return to more Empress, and eventually take her down again.
Okay, we got her. Nightglow, lovely. And Kaleidoscope. Nice. I might switch to magic and use Nightglow. Okay, so with this, I am dealing 2,700-ish DPS. Then with Mage, I don't have to think at all, and I'm dealing around the same. So I think Nightglow is the way, because having to aim is such a nerf to me. Can't believe they make us aim in this game.
Turns out switching to the Nightglow was a very good move, as not having to aim made it much easier to take down the Empress another 3 times, granting me both her wings and the Terra Prisma, which Calamity changes to be a rare drop rather than daytime exclusive. With these upgrades I then head back to the ocean for Duke Fishron, and despite having a better weapon, minion and wings, I still end up dying to him 4 times in a row. Not wanting to accept that this was a mere skill issue, I blame it on my arena and get to work hammering every single platform so I can fall through them without that very slight delay you'd normally get. Of course it was actually a skill issue all along, so I still die to him another 2 times before getting a lucky attempt that takes him down for good.
Hey, done.
With the Empress and Duke defeated, I was going to need to find some way to get the cultist if I wanted to progress any further. Normally this would mean taking down Golem, but the complete lack of a temple in this world makes that impossible. But if you've seen my Calamity low percent video, then you may know that there's actually another way to summon the cultist in Calamity. In the 3rd and 4th layer of the Abyss there exists an enemy called an Idolist, that when killed will drop an Eidolon tablet, an item that can directly summon the cultist when used. The issue then is that much like the temple, this world doesn't have an Abyss, so I'm going to need to build one myself. The path to Idolists is quite convoluted and starts by filling a large pool with water. Then I place down some planty mush I got from fishing in the sulphurous sea all the way back in pre-hard mode, and as long as it's placed at the correct height below the sulphurous sea, this surprisingly fills the criteria for a layer 2 abyss. But what we need for an Idolist to spawn is layers 3 or 4, so we're not done yet. Within layer 2 you'll find the luminous Corvina, a hostile fish that drops Voidstone when killed, so I start a Blood Moon for the massively increased spawn rates, and farm a bunch of them. I then head down to just above the underworld and set up another pool of water, this time a whole lot bigger than the last. Now while it's technically not necessary to make it this big, I might potentially maybe want to fight a certain secret boss at the end of the playthrough, so having a very large abyss will come in handy for that. It takes over 20 minutes of almost non-stop pouring to get it half full, or half empty depending on your worldview, at which point I stop and line the bottom of it with the Voidstone I got from all those fish I slaughtered. Once I place enough it becomes a layer 4 abyss, as indicated by my rapidly dropping breath and health. My current best options to mitigate breath loss are the Arctic Diving Gear, Moonshell, Aquatic Emblem and Gills Potion, which thankfully give me enough breath to take down my first Idolist. While it may not drop the Eidolon tablet I'm after, it does drop some ectoplasm. This only occurs after beating Plantera, and is the only way to obtain ectoplasm in this one block. Not only will this be a very useful material for crafting new items, it's also straight up essential for the cores of Calamity used in the Altar of the Accursed. Even after I take down enough Idolists to get the tablet, I continue farming them for more ectoplasm, then use some of this to craft the Pumpkin Moon Medallion. The Pumpkin Moon itself doesn't offer anything that's all that useful for my current stage of progression, but I take it down anyway for fun before returning to the Abyss for even more ectoplasm. Sometime later I have enough ectoplasm to upgrade to Spectre armour, granting much higher damage stats at the cost of losing my hallowed dodge, so as long as I don't get hit too much, this should make short work of the cultist.
Oh, it was a no-hit up until that point. Okay, yeah, this is easy.
I don't want to dwell too long on the pillars since they're really quite boring. In short, I take down some enemies, make a weapon upgrade, take down some more enemies and make another weapon upgrade, then repeat until I've crafted everything I want to craft. The main one you need to be aware of is the Spectral Storm Cannon, which quickly becomes my favourite weapon for this stage. It's the final upgrade to the Flare Cannon, so I also have to buy some flares from the merchant and upgrade these into cursed flares to make the most out of it. Considering my next boss is Astromdeus, a worm boss that frequently ends up off screen, the fact that this fires a mixture of piercing and homing flares makes it the perfect weapon for this fight. It's just a shame that it's in the hands of me, a far from perfect player. The next 4.5 hours mainly consist of me repeatedly dying to Astromdeus, making slight improvements to my arena that take way too much time and drain me of all concentration and energy, then dying to Astromdeus all over again.
Oh, okay, 3 seconds on a heal. Really could use that heal. Never mind.
I don't want to force you to watch me hammer platforms for 2 hours though, and I definitely don't want to spend any time trying to edit it down into a 2-minute section with only a vague resemblance to something you could call entertaining. So let's just get into the actually successful attempt.
Hey.
Now that may have looked like quite a tense, skillful fight that could have easily ended in a loss, but what I didn't show was the other 90% of it in which I run in a straight line on the hexed branch mount while ignoring the majority of the boss's attacks. Usually I'm not a big fan of boss cheese, but when the boss in question is as needlessly tanky as Deus is, I can make an exception.
Why bother engaging with the boss when you can just run away? That was actually so easy with the hexed branch. Hexed branch is OP for this. Wow. Not only do I get the bag, which is nice, but that also means I can now mine astral ore, which is even bigger. Wait, I'm hoping I've actually got enough pickaxe power. I think I should have enough pickaxe power to mine this. Oh no. I can still get it by fishing, I guess. You need to farm astral slimes to make the pickaxe. Ah, okay, yeah, slimes is probably going to be faster than fishing, to be honest. So we've got 215. That should be enough for the armor. Oh, I need meteorite for that. Okay, let's do some meteorite duping. What is this setup? This is the ore factory. This is where the ore gets made.
Aside from astral armor, I also craft some weapons from the bars.
Astral blade, astral pike, astral blaster, astral bow, astral staff. Okay, so this is terrible. This is pretty bad. I think there's better options than this for true melee. Okay, yeah, this is worse than pike. And this is also pretty bad. I don't know why those aren't as strong as pillar weapons. I mean, let me actually compare Vortex and Astral Blaster, because they should probably be around the same DPS in theory, considering they're the same point in progression, but I feel like they're definitely not going to be. So yeah, Vortex beater, like 2,400, 2,000, yep, around 2,400. This is 1,600. It's terrible.
After getting over the massive disappointment of these weapons, I fell back on my trusty Spectral Storm Cannon to take down the final pillar and await the arrival of the Moonlord. Despite having the fragments and ancient manipulator needed to craft a celestial sigil, I won't be able to summon Moonlord with this, as Golem hasn't been defeated, meaning there's a lot riding on this fight, as if I fail I'll have to go through the cultist and the entirety of the lunar events all over again.
Okay, he's about down. I think this is going to be a one-time fight. First attempt, not bad, as long as I don't throw it. There we go.
While the Moonlord fight itself may have been a bit anticlimactic, the new content unlocked by it certainly isn't, especially in a skyblock such as this.
Now progress happens. A lot of progress. Insane amounts of progress, to be honest.
To get that progress though, I'm going to need a lot of Luminite, which Calamity makes very easy with the addition of planetoids filled with the stuff that spawn after Moonlord. So I craft a Vortex pickaxe, then take to the skies and get mining. With all of the planetoids fully excavated, I return home with over 2,000 Luminite ore ready to craft new armour, weapons and accessories. But that's not what I'm most excited by.
And now, the main event of Moonlord. The bottomless shimmer bucket.
If you know anything about Skyblock or even just Terraria in general, then I don't need to tell you just how much this one fluid unlocks.
And then what I can do is fill that with shimmer, which unlocks so much.
But to see that, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel and wait for the next episode. Unless of course you'd like to join my Patreon, where it will already be uploaded when this one goes public. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.